Okay.
There was one town, I don't remember the name of it, that we went through. We were holding off in the back. The artillery was shelling the town before we entered it. And it was like a 4th of July. It was shelling and shells going all over. And all of a sudden I can hear this fellow crying, and he's coming back. And I happened to look on my left, and it was Tony Moreau from the 3rd Platoon. No helmet, no rifle. He had his hands in front, crying like a baby. I said, oh my gosh, that's Tony. He was a boxer, and he liked me very well, and he used to call me Dago. So there he's walking down, shell shock. And I went up to him, and I took him by the hand, and I brought him back to the rear, and I never heard any more after that. Now there was a man as strong as a horse, not afraid of anybody, and he'd do anything for me. He told me, he said, Dago, anybody ever gives you a hard time, you come and tell me. And there's a strong man. He ended up being shell-shocked. After I brought him back, then I have to work my way back up to the rest of the fellows as they keep advancing a little bit. And I'm going up this little incline, and all of a sudden behind this big rock, this German soldier comes out with his hands on his head. And I go to pull up to shoot, and I look, and I said, I can't shoot him. I said, he's only a kid. The German soldier must have been about 15 years old or younger. His German coat dragged on the ground. That's how long it was. And he had his hand over, and I brought him to the rear. Now I have to work my way back up again. But he could have killed me. But I didn't know he was behind that rock. When I come up toward it, he just stopped up in front of the rock, put his hand on his head. He surrendered right to me. And I pretty near shot him. I pretty near shot this. I'd have felt so bad for a kid. And then somebody said, you worried about him being a kid? How old were you? Oh, I said, I was 19. Oh, you weren't a kid? I said, well, I don't think so.
You were an old 19.
Yeah. Imagine. And then we've in other towns, because they always used to shell the town before we get into it, strip it. And we got into this town. We're just getting to the edge of town, right on the edge. All of a sudden the shells started coming in. And they were shelling. And we're hugging up tight as we can be to getting hit. And after it was all over, you had the shells were phosphate shells, concussion shells, and your regular artillery shells. And after it was all over and stopped, Watson on my left says, John, we're going in. And I says, okay. And to my right was Gary. I think his name was Gary or Gray. I forgot which Gary. I said, Gary, we're going in. And I'm ready to move. We're moving in. I looked. Gary's not moving at all. So I went down. I looked. He's dead. Didn't get hit by any shell. He must have, concussion shell must have went off right near him, and it bursted because blood came out of his nose, his mouth, his ears. All blood poured out. No, shell didn't. That concussion was so hard it just bursted him.
Yep.
And go to find out, it was later, go to find out, we got shelled by our own artillery. They were either late in shooting and hitting the field, or we were early going in. Our own artillery. Let me have that World War II book a minute. I want to show you something. This should be in here. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. These pictures were taken by Keith. He was a first lieutenant. That's his grandson. He went over with his father. He took pictures of the 76th Division monument. You'll see that over there. Now here's what they wrote from the VA for me, and this is what they sent. What's numbered here, whatever the number is, you mark there, and that's what I was given, the medals. They got on here. That's how they was given the medals. Whatever the number is, what I had coming, you look up here and it tells you what it is. See, this is the Battle of the Bulge. See, that's my division down here, and Johnny Harvest's division was right there. So I said I wasn't in the Battle of the Bulge, but that's what I got. I enlarged it a little bit. The original, one of the kids must have the original. One of the kids, I don't know which one. And these are all the names. This is one I want to show you. There's old Patton. That's my buddy Chief from Mineville. That's my buddy Chief, and that's me. And that's he had the grain store in Ticonderoga. Lauren Drake, Patton in West Point. We used to go to the reunions. He happened to be there for that reunion. This is what I want to show you. When people say they got this and they got that, I said, if you look at their discharge, they'll tell you what they were in. See, I wasn't a rifleman. I received a combat infantry badge. I was in the Battle of the Ardennes, I was in Battle of Central Europe, and I was in battle in the Rhineland. And it has here, I can't see it, something about campaign medal, good conduct, World War II, victory badge, American badge, and there was something about, I don't know what it was now, there was something, I don't know if it was the Battle of the Bulge, but like I say, it's in here. When you look at this, it tells you what it was. When you look at it, see right here, 25-3. I don't know what it was. Whatever it was.
25 Army Superior Unit emblem.
Is that what it was? You see, you got good eyes. I don't. But that's what the Army done. It's just like here. Whatever that number is, that's what they sent me. So when you look at the discharge, then you know whether they're lying or not, because they can be in a lot of battles. But if it isn't on your discharge, you probably were not in a battle.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is all. And that's my assistant when we went on the honor flight. She's in Plattsburgh, Cynthia Eckhoff. And this is taken down to Virginia, down to by the museum. He was 97 when this picture was taken. He was a pilot. He wasn't in the war, but he flew over. He was a pilot. And he was. He had to be one of the youngest ones in World War II. And he was from Winchester, Doug. That was taken down there. There, that's me. There. See, he put me in a World War II Jeep. Phil Fravel, World War II Jeep. They have my name on there. Every year, they come and get me. Every year. So you got all this to look at. And I don't care when I get it back. When I get it back, somebody else wants to look at it. I says, all right. This is where we first got coffee and donuts and got showers after 30 or 40 some days without a shower from the time we left England. That's a story of it. These are Jeep drivers. That's me right there standing up. Harris is on a cab. Rundle is next to him. I'm standing up. Yellen is sitting on the rail. And Gutierrez is climbing in, or without a helmet. Gutierrez. That was some of my buddies. That was in Altenburg Airport after the war was over. I thought it would show. Something, but I guess it did. Well, you know what to do with it. This is all yours. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call. And I hope I didn't bore you.
No way did you bore me.
That's the SS Brazil. the SS Brazil was built in Virginia, and it was a passenger ship. It carried 515 paid passengers. When they changed it over to a troop ship, it carried close, I got the papers on it, it carried close to 5,000 troops.
Packed in there like sardines.
Packed in there like sardines, yeah. That's Camp Croft right there. It's yours. You do what you please and keep it as long as you please. Whatever.
Well, sir, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. Yeah, let me know.
It's an honor to meet you.
It's an honor to talk with you. Because when we got out of the army, we didn't talk about the service. My wife didn't even know. When we got married, she didn't know what went on overseas. It's the kids that says if you don't start talking, they're not going to know. And now the schools are calling. I was just over to Westport School. The principal called me and I talked to the kids there. They call me, I go.
The world's got to know. The world's got to know what you did.
And
you and
like
so many others.
It's not like I try to make up, but there's times I break down. I can't help it. 75 years and there isn't a day or a night I go to bed or sit around. I don't think of what happened here or there or what I've done. It's hard to believe, but I don't. Every day, 75 years.